Okay, hello. In the course of the last class, I mentioned that I want to start today's class with a review of the basic conversation that we've been learning together, using those polite conversational expressions. But I want to do it a little differently this time. I want to turn it around and have you take the lead, have you take the initiative to guide me through the conversation. That is to say, you make the remarks first, you ask the questions first, and I respond to them. So if you just want to follow the instructions you'll see up here on the screen, they will guide you through the things you need to ask me in case you don't know the order of this conversation like I do. Okay, here we go. Bonjour. Pas mal, merci. Comment vas-tu? Je m'appelle Steve Nesbitt. Comment t'appelles-tu? Pareillement. Ah tiens, tu as quelque chose pour moi? Ah, c'est gentil. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Un stylo. Oh, merci beaucoup. Merci. Oh, qu'est-ce qu'il est beau, hein? Merci beaucoup. Vous savez, toi, tu sais, j'ai quelque chose pour toi aussi. Attends, je cherche. Pas mon portefeuille, non. Pourquoi pas. Voilà, un téléphone portable pour toi. Amuse-toi bien. Vas-y, serre-toi. Oh, il n'y a pas de quoi, Oh, il faut que tu partes. Bon, au revoir. Okay, that wasn't too bad. From where I'm sitting here, I thought you sounded pretty good, most of you anyway. Let's move on. Lesson 1.16. Now in lesson 1.16, you may have noticed that I'm infusing more and more vocabulary into your exercises. Some of this vocabulary may seem to you a little bit random, like you're learning how to say fish and ice cream. At the same time, you're learning pen and pencil. What's that all got to do with each other? Well, not a lot. A lot of the vocabulary is there simply to help you get a sense through context of the meaning of the verbs that you're learning. But a general overriding theme for Unit 1 is going to be the classroom and articles, items that you find in the classroom. So starting with this lesson and on throughout the rest of the unit, that'll be the primary focus. The items that you might find in a classroom of Unit 1. Now, as you're learning these different nouns, they're called, like pencil or pen or paper, you may have noticed that when I show a close-up of my mouth pronouncing these words, I say them twice, but I don't say them the same way. What's that all about? For example, let's take the word stylo. Okay, this is a stylo. But when I say this word in the close-up, you notice that I say stylo. Le stylo. Okay, the first time I say one word. The second time I say two words. What's that all about? Or for example, let's take crayon. Well, let's take a different kind of word. Let me take that word you don't know yet. Here's the word for key. Clé. La clé. So here with crayon, or crayon, I said le crayon, or if I said stylo, I said le stylo, but la clé. What's this le and la, and why are they different? What's this all about? Those are called definite articles. They correspond in English to the word the. And why are they said differently? It's because every noun in French all nouns in French are divided into two types, two categories. Feminine nouns and masculine nouns. What's that mean? Does that mean if this is feminine, then it's a girl, and this is masculine, it's a boy? No. Those are just grammatical terms, masculine and feminine. And I could have just as easily called them Group A and Group B, or Class A or Class B nouns. But it's important that you learn to make a distinction between them. You need to know that every noun in French is either masculine or feminine. This is la brosse, feminine. This is le stylo, masculine. This is le téléphone portable, masculine. This is la planche, which is a clipboard, and that's feminine. Let me grab something else here. La bouteille, that's feminine. And le portefeuille, my wallet here, that's masculine. why is it so important that we know if a word is masculine or feminine? Well, first of all, if we want to say the word the, we need to say the proper word the, le or la. However, if we wanted to say, let's say what's called the indefinite article, the word a beforehand, like a house or an apartment. You've already heard that from me. You've heard me ask, do you live in a house or an apartment? We also need to know if a word is masculine and feminine, because have you noticed that I say, est-ce que tu habites dans un appartement, but une maison? So un and une are two different forms of the word a in English, or an. Un is masculine. Une is feminine. And so knowing if a word is masculine and feminine is going to affect the words around that noun. And later on, you'll come to see that, and this would be in Unit 3 in particular, that adjectives also, words that describe nouns, are going to be impacted by whether that noun is of the first type or the second type, masculine or feminine. For example, if I want to describe this as a white pen, I say, c'est un, there's the masculine way to say a, stylo blanc. The word blanc is white. C'est un stylo blanc. If I want to describe this clipboard, which is sort of white, I would say, c'est une, notice I say une, that's the feminine way to say a for a clipboard. C'est une planche blanche. Blanche is the feminine way to say the word white. And I have to use the feminine way to say white because I'm describing a feminine noun, or a noun of that particular type, you might say. So this is blanc as far as its color is concerned, but this is blanche and noir. This is blanche, blanc and blanche. And when I say a pen or a clipboard, I say un for the pen, but une for the planche. And so words that surround nouns will be impacted by whether or not the noun is a masculine noun or a feminine noun, or if you prefer a group A noun or a group B noun. And that's why, as you repeat vocabulary after me, as we do exercises at the beginning of lesson 1.16, there's a lengthy section where you review all the nouns that you should have learned up to this point. As you're saying these nouns, don't just say papier for paper. Don't just say papier, say le papier, if you already know that it is le papier, a masculine noun. And when you say, what's a feminine thing you've learned so far? Le dîner, le déjeuner, I can't think of one right now off the top of my head. I can't note none of your list in front of me. Oh, I know, a table, the table. Don't just say table, say la table. Okay, so say the word the before the noun as you review this vocabulary, or as you learn this new vocabulary. You'll find that it'll become a very important issue in the lessons and units ahead. Okay, now, are you completely lost? Do you have no idea what I'm talking about right now? Don't worry about it. Because do you think that an 18-month-old French child, 2-month-old child, receives this kind of an explanation from his or her parent regarding how to speak French properly? No. They learn to never make mistakes with what are called, it's called gender. Masculine and feminine is called the gender of a noun. They never make a mistake of that nature after a certain period of time, a few weeks maybe, or months, because they hear the word said properly. They heard the definite article le or la used properly many times, until it would be like saying I am is natural to you, like I am happy, but you would never say I is happy, unless you're fooling around. You would never say I is happy and feel good about it. You'd feel awkward about it. Just like that for gender, for a French person. To say, for example, here's a wallet. To say la portefeuille would feel very awkward to them. It's le portefeuille. A portefeuille is a masculine noun. They would never make that mistake, just like you would never say I is. So the point is that one learns through exposure, through practice, through repetition over and over and over again. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, don't worry. The lessons in the ULAT are designed to provide you with lots and lots of repetition. And the focus, by the way, if you take a class with me, If you ever take a class with me or another teacher, the focus should be upon your ability to communicate thought. Not necessarily initially its form, but rather its essence. That is to say, are you getting your ideas across even though they aren't perfect? Great, you're on the right track. Just keep working, and eventually the imperfections will work their way out as you speak the language more and more. So be patient. Don't worry too much if you have no idea what I just explained to you. I had to give you a little introduction to lesson 1.16 and what's going to follow. And so this is a very workmanlike lesson, lesson 1.16. Nothing new in it. And so I encourage you just to go to it, to imitate the sounds you hear, to persevere, to practice, and I'll see you at the beginning of our next class. Au revoir.